He switches gears, gets drafted to another show, starts a singles run, beating Triple H in the main event, gets a fan poll shot against Chris Jericho for the IC title, wins that, and he has a really fun run. And then he goes on a losing streak, one that he can only be pulled out of by his mama. So this leads to the debut of Shelton Benjamin's mama, played by Thea Vidal, who was a pretty well-known actress / comedian. She had her own sitcom on ABC like a decade earlier. And there's even a report in The Observer around this same time that said that Vince demanded that she wear a fat suit because Vince didn't think she was quote unquote large enough to fit into his vision of a stereotypical overbearing African-American mom. This is weird. This is a Vince storyline that
100%.
What are we doing?
Well, obviously you didn't like it.
Did you like it?
Not really.
Yeah.
Not really. We didn't need that, I don't think. I don't know how much it helped Shelton. Maybe it helped him a little bit because we're talking about him here all these years after.
Sure.
But nonetheless, I wasn't crazy about that storyline.
The thing is, it's like he had been presented like this badass, which he is. But now this feels like it's leaning into a more comedic presentation. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm a big fan of comedy and wrestling. I know there are some people who say funny don't draw money, but I like when Dusty said, hey, you're supposed to be like the circus. You're supposed to have something for everybody. And even Flair later in his career, he started to do more comedic stuff. So I get that there is a place for it, but I just can't help but ask myself, would they have done this Your Mama storyline with Brock Lesnar? Because I don't think so.
Of course not.
Yeah.
No, it wouldn't even be considered.
Yeah.
But I applaud WWE for trying to find something to add to Shelton's repertoire, his presentation. It just wasn't my cup of tea.
Well, I don't think a lot of people really dug it, but I will say that the lady Thea, who portrayed Shelton's mama, she did a fantastic job. She was great in her role. I just wish there was different creative for Shelton Benjamin. But either way, after that, he's going to start, I guess, sort of running in place, or so it feels that way. He reunites with Charlie Haas for a bit. He moves to the ECW brand. He's going to dye his hair blonde and take on the nickname the Gold Standard. I did like the look with the blonde hair because it does stand out. We've seen
Butch Reed
have
blonde hair. Sweet Daddy Siki made blonde hair for a black man, kind of fashionable back in the day.
Dennis Rodman famously did it in the NBA.
Yeah.
Wesley Snipes and Demolition Man. So I love the look. It stands out. It's really cool. But I'll be honest. I believe that the blonde hair on Butch Reed allegedly was a Vince thing. Have you heard that before? That Vince is the person who preferred Butch with the blonde hair?
I think I don't know that to be a fact, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't. Vince had a unique way of looking at things, and whether you liked it or you don't like it, he had a very unique way of looking at things. So and sometimes it's head scratchers. But the blonde hair gave Shelton another identity, another valuable asset to his look, because he had a great body. So you top it off with that hair, and it makes him a kind of a different cat.
It's a fun look. Shelton is going to remain with WWE through 2010. That's when he'll be released, and he's going to wind up signing a deal with Ring of Honor. And he's going to reunite with Charlie Haas here as the world's greatest tag team. Jim Cornette, who's involved in Ring of Honor at the time, sees them as the perfect opponents to try to help mentor and elevate Mark and Jay Briscoe into becoming a polished, television-ready, superstar-level tag team. Man, that's probably a great role for Shelton Benjamin to be in at that point, because he's seen it and done it all at that point. Paying it forward to the Briscoes makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and you gave the Briscoes an identity, and I'd say Shelton was ahead of the curve at that point in time, and it was time for him to get into a scenario where he was not just learning, he wasn't in there. He's got to steer his ship a little bit more. And the Dudleys, because those guys remind me of the Dudleys at times. I think it's a good idea. I think it worked out fine. If I was involved in that decision making, I would have certainly nodded my head that let's try this and see how it goes.
Shelton is going to spend some time in Ring of Honor and then several years with New Japan. He'll be a part of Minoru Suzuki Gun Faction. I know you did some commentary for New Japan through the years. Did you get to call any of Shelton's New Japan?
I think I did. Nothing he did surprised me in the ring.
Yeah.
Like I said, we identified early on that the only thing he needed to do was to get his personality developed. And to do that, you have to have the opportunity to do such. So he was just it was a good timing. His career evolved really well. I think maybe a lot of his fans think that he wasn't used correctly for a long period of time, and that may be true. But he never gave up the ghost, shall we say. He worked hard, and he kept learning, and he didn't get discouraged to the point that it affected his work. And I think that's a key element and a key thing to talk about. His great character. He's an athlete. He wanted to be the best athlete that he could be. And like I said earlier, that's what you find with these guys that are come from an athletic program like Minnesota, for example, where it's a Class A Division I college. He had great success there. We talked about his amateur days in junior college, where he was an All-American in track and wrestling. So it was just a matter of finding the right fit for him, and that's what we were challenged to do at times.
Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, well, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next 2 house payments. That's right. You won't have to make your June or your July house payment. You're done until August 1st. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105. Or get yourself a quick quote, even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Let's take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com.